Well, here we are in the summer of 2020, and I think that the one thing we can all agree is that this has been quite the year. In fact, the only thing we may be certain about is that things have been uncertain. The coronavirus pandemic has changed everything, and a lot of us have a lot more questions than we have answers. And many of us are looking at relaunching our children's ministry for in-person gatherings. And as we get ready to plan for this, you may just find out that having a lot of questions is a good thing. So here you are, where you spent the better part of the last few months social distancing at home. You've been keeping your church family engaged online, figuring out next steps, and rolling with the punches. Yes, it's been a long year, and you may feel like you're just doing your best to hang in there. But don't worry, it won't be too long now before the kids come back to your class and we begin to find our new normal. But because there is so much still that's uncertain, I bet you have a lot of questions. Who will come? How do we social distance? Will we be ready? But you're not the only one who has questions about coming back to children's church. So do your families, especially those who have children with special needs. What do you think they may be asking? Does our church understand that starting again may be hard? Routines are important for many children who have developmental disabilities, especially for those on the autism spectrum. But taking a break from church means taking a break from familiar routines. Because of this, some children may regress and may need to become familiar with your classroom all over again. But if you communicate expectations ahead of time, coming back to class will be easier. First, have visual schedules ready. A visual schedule shows a child what activity is happening now and what activity will happen next. You want to make this simple. An easy way to make visual schedules is to print a sheet with two boxes on it, one marked first and the other next. Then print out photos of each activity and cut them into separate units. Laminate the sheet and the photos. Add Velcro and simply put the photos in the right boxes and switch photos when needed. This is an easy way to help children understand what to expect next. Second, if a child is on the autism spectrum, then they may benefit from a social story. A social story is a learning tool that communicates social expectations on different topics. They can be very helpful in preparing a child for something new, like returning to children's church. Don't worry if you don't know how to create one. If a child is on the spectrum, then chances are good that their family may be able to have one made for them before your relaunch. Reach out to parents and see what they think. And lastly, giving children with special needs a chance to practice before the big day can be very helpful. You may want to reach out to parents and see if they would like to have their child visit your classroom when things are quiet. This will give the child a chance to become familiar and understand new expectations in a calm environment. This can help things go more smoothly on the first day. The second question parents may have is, what about germs? So this is a question on everyone's minds. What can we do to try to make our environments as safe as possible? Now I know that each of you are already on this, working with your teams on cleaning and safety strategies. But what parents of children with special needs may want you to know is that even this can be different for their kids. Some children who have special needs are also immune compromised or medically fragile. This means that viruses such as COVID-19 may affect them more seriously than other kids, and some may not understand the new rules for social distancing or increased safety precautions, which also adds complications. So what can you do to help? Well, in addition to creating cleaning policies, you may want to assign a few volunteers to make sure that protocols are followed through. But most importantly, what you can do is be realistic about what you can control and what you can't. Things will not go perfectly, and that's okay. But because children with disabilities are often more at risk for health complications, it is really important that you be honest with parents. Let them know what the environment is really like. This will allow them to make an informed decision about whether their child is ready to return or not. And one of the most important questions of all, families may ask themselves, if we're not ready to return, will our church forget about us? Due to the complications we discussed, many families who have children with special needs will be the last to return to church. Parents may feel that the risk is too great or that their kids just aren't ready to come back yet. If you have families who do not return right away, don't assume that they just aren't interested in engaging. Keep reaching out to these families. Let them know that they're important and cared for and that you'll be there when they're ready. Sometimes, just letting people know that they're important is the best way to show Christ's love. So while these won't be the only questions you may encounter as we get ready to find our new normal, they're a good place to start. Oh, and before you leave, there's one more thing. Next time you're in the classroom and you wonder what 2020 may bring next, just remember, you're not alone. What you do matters. And keep hanging in there because You got this! Thanks for watching today, and thank you for what you do. And don't forget, no matter what happens next, you've got this.